What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today we have a brand new Xur Inventory review for the weekend of June 28th to July 1st, and so let's get started. And of course, Xur is going to be in his same spot in the tower he always is since his update within the file shape. Alright, let's take a look at what he has. Firstly, for the exotics, well, we have the Polaris Lance catalyst. The Polaris Lance is actually a pretty decent exotic primary, can make a ton of ignitions and do a lot of damage to a single target, so this is a considerable pickup for sure. Now, after that, the Jotun catalyst. Jotun definitely has a place in the PvP scene every once in a while, and it will curve around corners to get me every time. But of these two weapons, the Polaris Lance absolutely sees more play, especially in PvE. I mean, last season it was actually quite popular. I'm sure a lot of you guys watching used it, so it might be a great time to pick up that caddy. Now after that, we do have the Stompies, an incredibly highly used exotic. 68 is very good. But unfortunately, after that, you do have the biggest spike being intellect, which you don't want, and then this is really not too spiky generally. So you can consider picking this up if you don't have a better one, but definitely not the best. Then we have the Peregrine Greaves here, 64 with a huge strength spike, and then mobility. These are not that good. After that, we have a 67 Dire Skull of Ahamkara, and you know, an intellect spike isn't that bad when you're talking about getting your Nova Bomb back as much as possible. You do want a little bit of intellect for sure, but there's not really a lot of other good spikes, and unfortunately none of these exotic armor pieces are that amazing. After that, Xur selling a Vanguard engram. We had Artifice Armor last week, which was crazy, but that seems to be about it right now for what's available from him there. After that, for the exotic weapons here, the Hawkmoon is going to have the Eye of the Storm, which some people really like this perk, especially for dueling on console. Your accuracy really does improve. Arrowhead Break is going to improve the recoil. It's alright. Like, it's alright. I've seen a lot better Hawkmoons in my day. After that, Monte Carlo absolutely will get your melee energy back like a crazy amount. Actually is a pretty decent exotic weapon here. Prometheus Lens is alright, doesn't really see a ton of play. And then Wardcliff Coil does not see a ton of play at all. But every once in a while, it's literally the best weapon in the game because it just like cheeses a boss or something like that. So none of these are absolutely like a god tier. Probably the best weapon here is the Monte Carlo, I would say, overall. And then a close second, Prometheus, and then Wardcliff Coil. Anyways, moving on from there, let's check the randomly rolled weapons. Well, we have... I mean, this is just sad, dude. We got the full auto perk when you can just turn it on in the settings. So, yeah, that's going to be a no from me, dog. After that, we have a dynamic quick draw Death Adder. Not that amazing. Now, we do have a quick draw Vorpal. I mean, you can get Slide Shot, which is really what you're looking for. So, unfortunately, no. Ignition Code is a really good weapon overall, but yeah, just not a good roll. Then we have the Soul Survivor. Well, to be honest, Rapid Hit Vorpal is not the worst roll I've ever seen for like a PvP roll, or sorry, PvE roll, but yeah, you can do a lot better. Then we have a Field Prep Elemental Capacitor, 7 Seraph Saw, nope. We have a Quick Draw Chain Reaction Memory Interdict, nope. And then it really does seem like we are going to have these class-specific swords every week. Xur has had them every single week. So for the Titan one, Relentless Strikes is quite good. Counterattack, really not so much, unfortunately. Now, as for the armor, first of all, the substitutional alloy set, let's check light.gg for the rarity. Now, this was originally introduced back in Season 8 and then reintroduced in Season 15, and it's an extremely common set with over 57% of Guardians having access to this very helmet. Now, taking a look at the rolls, 68 is definitely on the high end, but way too much mobility for the Titan. 62, not really too spiky, no thank you. 64, now we're getting somewhere. However, like the main recovery spike, you'd like to see that in resilience. The strength spike definitely isn't bad. A lot of Titan melee builds, so this is like okay. And then 63, really not too spiky. Well, let's go ahead and check the Warlock. Alright, for the Warlock, first of all, let's go check that sword here. Tireless Blade counterattack, not that amazing. Now, as for the armor, we do have a 66 with way too much mobility, unfortunately. 67, again, way too much mobility, unfortunately. 64, intellect spike being featured, no thank you. And 64, We got the resilience spike being featured, we have discipline in second place, and then we have strength. Honestly, this is a pretty decent piece if you're looking for these stats. Now, moving on from there, however, let's check the Hunter. Alright, for the Hunter, first of all, let's go check the sword, and it has Tireless Blade on guard. Not that amazing, like not that good. Now, as for the armor here, 64, not spike at all, no thank you. 65, mobility, discipline, it's all right, like it's okay. 66, big resilience spike, big strength spike, unfortunately. I'm gonna pass on that. Hunters don't really want strength as much. Now, man, so this is like super high, 67, massive spikes. You got a mobility spike, but then you have an intellect spike. I think you could grab this piece if you are, for example, putting together like an Orpheus Hunter build. You want to be getting your super as much as possible. In those cases, even though intellect isn't the best, you still want a little bit of intellect. You want about, tier 3-ish intellect. You don't want 0 intellect for sure. So this can accomplish that almost by itself. Not a bad piece for that, but other than that, really not the best. Overall, guys, I think the best thing available this week is going to be this Polaris Lance Catalyst. Like, a lot of people do use the Polaris Lance because it's an infinite ammo weapon that can, slowly but surely, take down bosses, and take down bosses way quicker than other primary weapons because of all of those ignitions. So getting that Catalyst as well is just going to make this weapon better for sure. Now, quickly to check the more strange coins offers, well, there is an Ascendant Alloy up for sale as well if you're wanting that resource. Guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.